Hello, everybody. It's the Historical Gamer once again saying thank you very much for showing up, I suppose, for an impromptu stream of Broken Arrow, which released yesterday, sort of, kind of, maybe. Broken Arrow is a new RTS game by Steel Balaclava or Balakia? I can't remember how you pronounce that. But it is a kind of a Eugen-like game, I would call it. I think they have some folks from Eugen who worked for Eugen Systems at one point, but it is basically a real-time tactical war game set in the modern era, hypothetical World War III, and very similar in sort of theme and approach to previous games in the Wargame series like it. And there have been other games also, like Regiments, that have sort of channeled this vibe, if you will. But we're going to go ahead and we're going to play the campaign here. This game released into... They're calling it, I think, Advanced Access, which basically means if you pay more, you get access to the game 3 days early. Not strictly speaking a pre-order, but like I think it's like $10 more or something, like the Vanguard edition or whatever. I think that's how they determined who got it. But in any event, it was, it was made accessible to me. I got it for free, so FYI if you're wondering about that. But the game did come out on the 16th to those folks, with a broader release, I believe, on the 19th to everybody. Yeah, let's go ahead and jump in. We're going to play the campaign. Now, the game is centered around multiplayer. I think a lot of the communities who play this game play multiplayer. You can see there's actually over 17,000 people online right now in the game, with over 6,000 of them currently fighting battles. So there is that aspect. We played a real brief co-op before the game crashed with Wolfpack 345 before this. But I don't really feel like getting stomped on by people I don't know right now. So we're going to go ahead and check out the campaign, because the game does have a single-player campaign as well. So, yeah. This is my first experience, Dean, so I cannot evaluate how fun it is. So it starts off with the largest ever military exercise in the Baltic states is about to begin. Okay. Slytherin presents. That's the publisher, by the way. Broken Arrow.
American military presence in the Baltics has been reinforced in response to the Russian military exercises held on both sides of the Sawatki Gap in Kaliningrad and Belarus. With more than 40,000
Let me know if my audio is coming in okay over top of the gameplay.
Planes and helicopters. It's the biggest military exercise ever held in the region. Camp Hercus, the new permanent U.S. base in the region, is at the epicenter of tensions as U.S.
Camp
and Russian
Hercus? Who the
military
fuck's that named
exercises
after?
are held
What kind of name is that for a camp?
less than 20 miles away from each other.
The need for the permanent deployment of U.S. forces in Lithuania.
So it's just a little bit of stage setting. The U.S. is deploying troops to Lithuania as part of NATO to do some exercises, perhaps to to dissuade a Russian buildup along the Baltic states. And so it's sort of giving you some scene setting here.
In charge of U.S. military operations in the region. Why are U.S. forces in such close proximity to the Russian exercise?
I don't know what year it's supposed to be. Near future, but I don't know exactly when.
Last time I checked, Lithuania was a sovereign country. If it is their wish to host permanent U.S. forces on their soil, I don't see why Moscow should have a say in that. Now, if you excuse me, I have a military exercise to prepare.
Thank you, General Bennett.
General, if you didn't want to talk to the press, you probably could have just sent some a public relations officer.
You see me on the news? Everyone's talking about this exercise. It's not every day you see such a display of power. Reminds me of Desert Storm in '91. Ah, the good old days.
I'm trying to remember. So if
Anyway,
this is really
Major Raines,
2025
how are
even,
the preparations coming
and this
along?
guy was in the service in '91, I mean, I guess it's plausible he is a general, but like he would be nearing retirement age.
One last thing, General. A special diplomatic envoy sent by Washington.
He looks a little
has
young in that
demanded
image to
meet you.
have been a
Counselor Miller?
Persian Gulf.
Of course it's Miller. No military demonstration in the world is complete without this vulture showing up.
This guy's got some anger
His
issues.
stupid face is the last thing I want to see today. So let's go. We're on a schedule.
Okay, dude. You know, you're like leading a multinational effort. Maybe a little bit of diplomacy might be in order. All right, so intelligence reports, I guess, show up down here. You've got your objective here. Showtime, I suppose, is the name of the particular scenario. We have a little briefing. There's a politician who's going to show up here, and we're going to jump in. My only point, Dean, was if he experienced Desert Storm, that means he's been in the service for a minimum of 34 years, right? So, dude's in his 60s at least. My father served, and I think he hit mandatory retirement age. He was on list to be promoted to general, but a slot didn't open up, and I think if he had been promoted, he would have been allowed to extend for 3 more years.
If I don't throw him a bone, go pick him up at his hotel and take him for a tour, Commander.
So this is the way they're setting the stage for the campaign tutorial, is basically like, hey, you gotta take this politician around for some stuff.
No offense, but she's more talkative than you.
So we're gonna drive around the camp here and do some stuff. I played a slightly less polished version of the tutorial when they were doing like the Steam Next Fest or whatever. This guy landed over here. Where am I supposed to go? No? Okay. Now, I should probably order my guy to follow. Can you... Why are you cutting through forests? Pathfinding. Interesting. I just want you to go here. I assumed you would have taken the road. I suppose if I do fast move, then you would? Really what, Dean? The 90s were only yesterday. Yeah, I mean, all history is tough, right? Like it's been a while. it's wild to think Desert Storm was 31 or 34 years ago. Like Desert Storm was closer to the 1950s than we are today, than it was today.
They have different equipment, different tactics, speak different languages. Creating an interoperable force in this region is a real headache.
Oh man, that's sad to think. Desert Storm is closer to the end of the 1950s than it is to today. Wow. Ugh. Alright, can you please just stay on the road? I literally told you to do fast moves. You should just... They need like a road command. Maybe that's what fast move is supposed to be, but... Oh, I was hitting the wrong button. Never mind. Okay, now he's got it. Ah.
What are you doing, Commander?
Yes, my father served for... He was in the army for 35 years. Yeah.
Go pick him up.
Retired a colonel. Was on the list for general. He was in the reserves at the time, though, and there's a very fixed limit number of general slots, and nothing opened up.
I am Major Williams. It's a pleasure to have you with us. The commander and I will show you around on our way to the general. Please hop in.
Well, it's about time. Let's go. Take me to the training ground first. I need to make sure that our equipment is showcased in the best possible conditions.
Okay, Mr. Politician, we'll showcase your equipment in the best possible conditions.
But I didn't know there was a show.
This whole exercise is for show, Major. A show of force for our potential enemies, but also an arms.
All right, so fast move works splendidly when you when you click the right button.
And which
He's
partners
staying
are
on the
trying
road
to
just
impress
nice.
today,
There you
Counselor?
go.
That's confidential. Just drive, Major.
Sorry, coffee. I was 4 in '91, so I do not have any real memory. My only memory of the Gulf War was at some point in the late '90s. We were doing like a movie thing in school, and like it was it had been recorded on TV, and so like they started the film in class, and it had been recorded over like Desert Storm footage. So like we got like a 5-second news segment before the recording cut in of like Desert Storm stuff on TV. It's like, huh. All right, let's drop some artillery on these guys. On the way. So these are like mortars. There's strikers with mortar tubes in the back. That's neat. They got pretty impressive looking little graphics there. You can see like the actual soldier like drop the shell into the tube.
Targets located further away. Smart munitions don't have this problem. They are much more accurate and can correct their trajectory to hit a target designated by a laser.
Mortar ready, sir.
Should we use smart munitions? Or can we? Alright.
Mortar available, sir.
Oh, smart munition. Here we go.
Good copy. Fire coordinates received.
Overkill? I don't know the meaning of the word. See how the smarties do. More expensive, presumably. Boom! Okay, those came right down on it. Oh, and the game it does tell you how many munitions you've had. You've got 120 regular HE shells, 60 smoke, 23, I'm assuming the PGM, precision guided munition.
As you can see, our latest battlefield management interface enables extremely responsive fire missions.
Armored
It was I
transport
who
ready.
sold that concept to Congress. Glad to see it works in practice, too.
No one needs to know about your political victories, dude. No one cares. Your grandpa served in the Air Force in Nuremberg?
So how is your hotel, counselor? I've heard it's quite fancy.
Apart from the fact that I was woken up every 20 minutes by helicopters passing right over my head, it was lovely.
My dad passed away.
Hey,
He's not in the
why is
American
the
Legion.
radar of this Patriot turned off?
It's the standard procedure to keep the radar turned off by default, to keep the unit mobile and avoid destruction by anti-radiation missiles. They can still use their backup tracking systems to target aircraft, but in this mode, their detection and engagement range are limited.
Thank you. Yes, turn radars
Okay,
off if you don't want to be
switch this
detected.
radar on, Commander. Let's see how far target practice drones can be detected and engaged.
Radar turned on.
Drones! Meteorological balloons. Sweet. Boom!
The efficiency of the radar depends on the altitude of the target. Low-flying aircraft are harder to detect, and helicopters cannot be targeted at all as they fly below the minimum detection altitude of the radar. That's why short-range air defense, SHORAD, is needed to complement long-range surface-to-air missiles.
Where's the SHORAD?
Anti-aircraft here. At your command. Humvee standing by. Target confirmed. We're engaging.
Boom! Take that, helos.
A fine fine demonstration of our firepower, Commander. The message is clear. No country equipped with our anti-aircraft systems need worry about its airspace being violated.
Mm-hmm. Good job, sir. All right, let's go here to the armor section.
Moving in next waypoint.
The mission can last hours in the campaign, because in the regular game, in the multiplayer, it doesn't last that long, right?
This is the tank firing range. A platoon of M1A2 Abrams is ready for the demonstration.
Oh wait, we can skip the tutorial if we want, I think.
Tank armor is much stronger on the front than on the sides. The training of our crews consists in maneuvering to engage the enemy from the flank, while minimizing the exposure of their own flanks.
On the way. One thing that's always bothered me about these kind of games is the way that, like, units take hit points when you hit them, which to me seems a little bit silly. I would rather, like, I don't know, a shell's either going to penetrate or it's not. I suppose repeated hits could weaken it, but the notion of, like, oh, you just got to get this down to 0 and then it dies just seems a little bit. For games that sort of market themselves as mil sims, there's still a lot of very arcadey aspects to them. Be it this, or be it Eugen Systems, or any of the games like this. Armor tank training target. Get him. Is there another weapon we can use? We're using Sabos. Heat and nature. So, not really.
Now, can you send as many targets as possible? Let's see what a Soviet invasion of Europe would have looked like.
What? Send as many targets as you can. There's 3!
Which is not the case with
Okay.
Russian-designed tanks. This allows us to move backward to avoid being overrun, while maintaining our powerful frontal armor facing the enemy.
Get him! We don't need to back up. These are just little AFVs, although it looks more like a tank. Oh, that one's a tank. Oh, it's gonna be a Fury moment. Can he split him? He's not actually shooting, so I guess it doesn't really matter, but it doesn't seem like the angle on the, I don't know what to call it. I was gonna call it the angle on the bow, but it's not the bow. It's not a ship. It really matters in terms of damage done. I also don't get the sense range matters either. Hit or you don't.
70 tons of American diplomacy.
You mean 70 tons of a diplomatic nightmare? I had explained to the Lithuanian government why they needed to reinforce all their road bridges from here to Poland to support their weight.
Sure, but when they arrive, nothing stands in their way. And how was your flight, counselor?
Completely unremarkable. You know, I spent half my life in the air, so the only surprises would be finding snakes on the plane, flying the thing myself, or reaching my 60s without getting...
It's interesting in games like this where they walk you through using all these different mechanics that almost no one uses in the actual gameplay because you don't have the time to do most of that kind of thing. These games tend to be a little bit click-festy. So, like, you don't have the time to infiltrate
We're at the hangar,
an
sir.
individual
That's all well and good,
soldier
but I'm not here
around.
for these trifles. I've got a major fighter jet contract to attend to.
Okay.
So here's the real showstopper. I want you to demonstrate its air-to-ground and air-to-air capabilities for our guests.
Take a seat, Miller. I'm in charge here.
Ah, General. I was wondering when you'd come out of hiding.
Okay.
So, what's on the menu, Chef?
We'll start with a classic. Close air support with good old A-10s.
Agreed, Snuffy.
Yeah, like in 91, the good old days. You never change your record, do you?
Shut up, Miller! Commander,
This general
you'll be
doesn't
leading
seem
this
very
demonstration.
general,
Call
like
in an
yelling
A-10
at politicians,
order it to
and
destroy the marked
he
target.
might think these things, but like he would have never lasted long enough. Anyway, air. Give me a good old A-10. Let's go ahead and do some fighting.
Planes must work in coordination with recon to target enemy ground units. The recon detects and identifies the target while the plane
All right.
maneuvers to attack.
Give me
it.
that strafing run. Let's run these. I actually think the ability to drag out the run you want your aircraft to make is a pretty neat little feature.
Let's gun something down.
Bird. Got him.
Whoa! The sound of that gun always gives me chills. It reminds me of well, whatever. Send the plane back to base before it runs out of fuel.
Copy. Bugging out.
Now call in a Harrier to make a bombing run.
Oh, great. Another old crate.
Relax, Mr. Politician.
Flight plan updated. Harrier, armed and ready. Coordinates received. Bombs are ready. Harrier here. Send traffic. Attack
Oh,
one
whoops.
complete.
Send the plane back to base before it runs out of fuel.
Back to home plate.
Got him. I don't think you would direct the attack direction in combat mission, but it doesn't really matter in combat mission because,
Fencing out.
like, you don't actually you call in airstrikes. Combat mission has some
All right,
pretty neat,
Commander, send in the
especially
F-15 EX now.
especially
Finally.
combat mission, especially shock force, in my opinion,
This plane is equipped
has
with a
some
laser
interesting. It
designation
does
of
kind of
support
look
bombs.
the way you would
You mark
expect
the target with
the
pod
U.S.
and the
military
bombs
using
will
air power, where
penetrate
you're
the
calling in
target
a strike.
with
Takes a while to come in, and then like only one or two bombs are dropped like precisely on target. I haven't really played the I haven't played the Cold War
Preparing to pickle.
combat mission, so I can't speak for that. But what I can say is, it felt like Generation Kill, if you will, in the way that air power is utilized in Shock Force 2.
Airstrike complete. Pressing out.
You didn't even get it?
Eagle here.
Is he out of ammo?
CAS inbound. Danger close.
Okay.
Strike complete. Good effect on target. Roger.
Target is still
Straight to the
standing,
air.
Commander. Don't make us look like fools. We're here to demonstrate the capabilities of this plane, not your lack of competence.
Ouch, bro. Relax. We got this.
Gun runs and guiding missiles is outdated. Now, you drop a bomb from as far as you can and you let it do the job for you.
You ain't wrong.
Well, let's try again with a moving target this time. And you'll see that a human is still needed to predict the
Solid
target's
copy.
trajectory.
Diving on target.
I dropped all my bombs, guys. I can't do precision strikes.
Eagle copies. Fight by fight.
Call in another fighter, I suppose, but I don't... Where are you going, dude?
Flying there.
You know, RTB, give me a new...
Bugging out.
Give me a new platform.
Proceeding as frag. Changing course. Eagle copies.
No, don't do that. There you go. Got a nice little beam onto the target. It's gonna drop anytime soon? This is just gonna circle. Do I have to do something to confirm the order? I already did the... Or does he just stay beamed on and then I gotta actually tell him to drop bombs?
Going for effect.
No, 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 don't do that. Oh no. Alright, it stayed locked on.
Roger that. Strike area confirmed. Strike coordinates received.
When you take one of these bombs on the face like that, the coffin they send back home doesn't weigh much. Believe me. Send in the second F-15, Commander. This time to demonstrate its air-to-air capabilities against drones.
New course set.
We have potential buyers for dozens of these planes, so make sure these drones are shot down nice and clean, Commander.
Yeah.
Remind me, Miller, are we here to defend these people or to sell them weapons?
Selling them weapons means they can defend themselves. Teach a man to fish and you feed him for a lifetime. I just make sure they buy from the right bait and tackle shop.
One
Drone
down.
destroyed. Proceed to next target. Second target destroyed.
Nice.
3 out of 3.
There's one more drone, Commander. Finish it.
Where?
Target locked. Engaging.
Okay.
Great job, Commander. If we don't land a contract for a few jets after that, I'll be damned.
General, we've got a problem. I've asked confirmation from the airbase, and they sent 3 drones as planned, not 4.
Oh, shit. Don't tell me we scratched some civvies who can't read a map.
No, sir. The radar signature was definitely that of a UAV.
Well, in any case, that means trouble.
Oh no. It was a Russian. Now the war's gonna begin. So there's these other medals you can get for doing different things here, but we didn't play through everything, so should we fight an actual battle now? Alright. Tensions escalate rapidly between NATO and Russia. That would be the next mission. Give me 1 minute, guys. I'm going to take a minute to stretch my legs, grab a drink, and then we will fight an actual battle, I think. All right, let's take a look at the first mission in the campaign.
The Lithuanian government denounced a violation of its airspace and closed its frontier with Belarus and Russia.
The unknown object that was shot down during the exercise turned out to be a Russian drone. The official line is that it was shot down to prevent an air collision with our jets training nearby. But the Russians refused to go along with that story and maintained that it was flying on their side of the border.
But it was flying on the wrong side of the border, right?
Well, it was hit in the Lithuanian airspace, but ended up a few meters on the other side of the frontier. So, as you can imagine, they jumped on the occasion to create their own narrative. In any case, the Lithuanian government has closed their borders with Belarus and Kaliningrad until the end of the investigations. As a response, the Russians have placed all their troops at the border on high alert and sent a quote-unquote military convoy carrying humanitarian aid to Kaliningrad. They are approaching the town of Lazdiche as we speak.
And nobody thought about stopping them?
It's a tricky situation. The Lithuanians cannot block humanitarian convoys without breaking international treaties.
Humanitarian my ass. We can't let that happen. The
General,
so-called
let's start a
humanitarian
war.
convoy is like spitting in our face. Williams, what are our units in the area?
A striker company from 2nd Cav is training nearby. If they move it once, they should be able to intercept the convoy before it reaches the city of Lazdiche.
This isn't much, but it'll have to do. Dispatch them immediately.
General, don't you see what's happening? The drone, the convoy, half the Russian army are on high alert on the other side of the frontier. This whole situation could very well be a false flag operation.
I agree on
If you
that.
rush into this convoy with blazing guns, this would certainly give them a justification for a strong military response.
They wouldn't dare. They're only testing our resolve. So we'll put ourselves in their way, make a show of force, and watch them go crawl back under their rock.
And what will you do if they don't stop?
The city of Lazdiche is a vital crossroad to reinforce Lithuania. If they take control of it, we have no way to defend Vilnius in case of invasion. We cannot take the risk to let that happen.
Sir, Striker Company responded. They are already in sight of Lazdiche and are awaiting orders.
Thank you, Major. Let's go, Commander. We have a lot on our plate.
Yeah, I don't know how realistic the dialogue in this is, but hey, you know. So we've got infantry, supply trucks, strikers with tows, javelins, and brownings, I think. Choose your difficulty. We'll just do the standard. Primary objective, spook the enemy convoy, don't fire unless fire upon. Improvise. Okay. Peacekeeper, yes. Cutscenes at least look cool. It just looks like they're out for a, you know, a normal stroll. Do I have to click a button, or does this just keep going?
The convoy has been spotted a few miles down this highway, sir.
Way
No
too
time
early,
to
QWERTY. I
lose
played like
then.
30
This
minutes.
crossroad
I
is
don't
the
know.
last position
It's
where we can stop them
Eugenie.
before they reach the city. Send your troops there immediately, Commander.
Alright. So, I guess I've still got to deploy the troops, huh? Let's do... We'll do all 3 of our ATGMs. Give us some nice missile support.
Roger. Moving out.
The convoy is approaching.
Moving there
We're
now.
tracking its position with a drone.
Hurry up! Capture the crossroad before they reach it.
Striker standing by.
Remember, this is officially a humanitarian convoy, and unless proven otherwise, it must be considered as such.
Moving
packed
Fast
with
moving to
extreme
that
caution
objective.
here,
We've already
General.
got an MG team there.
Yeah, of course. Commander, make sure our troops are instructed to hold their fire and engage only if fired upon.
I have no air support in the event I need that. Maybe the campaign's slow enough pace that you can actually watch things happen.
Striker, ready for combat.
We are holding the crossroad, General. They are approaching rapidly. Maybe they didn't see us. Shall we fire a warning shot?
Negative. Hold your fire and stay in the middle of the road. Show them we're here, and they'll back off.
Will they, though?
They stopped.
Fighting vehicle is combat.
It looks like they're hesitating.
I guess they weren't expecting us.
Or they're deploying.
Come on, now is the moment of truth. Either they go back or they try to pass in force.
Look, they're moving back.
Thank God we won't have a war on our hands today. Congratulations, General. I have to admit, I didn't think it would be that easy.
No, wait. They turn left. What are they doing?
They're trying another approach to bypass us. Commander, redeploy your troops on these crossroads. Show them we're not here by accident.
Good copy. Next waypoint.
Don't forget to call reinforcements. We'll need all the help we can get to cover all these crossing points.
ATGM carrier ready. Already there. Striker, ready for action. Roger. We're on the move.
All right, boys, go cover the other crossroads.
Roger. We're Oscar Mike.
First crossroad secured.
Look alive! Fighting vehicle ready.
They've stopped again.
Return fire only. Copy that.
Did they just shoot?
Moving there now.
Sure looked like they were shooting. I heard an explosion.
ATGM carrier ready for action.
So this isn't like, it's not an unload scenario, right? Yeah, that's an ATGM itself.
Striker reporting in.
Hey, get back in.
Enemy soldiers have dismounted from the trucks and started moving in our direction. We got positive identification of weapons. I repeat, PID of weapons.
Hold your fire! This is a game of chicken. Whoever shoots first takes the blame.
Second crossroad secured, sir.
And whoever gets shot first dies. Williams, drop a bomb on the road in front of them as a warning. We
What?
must show where our red line stands.
Dude, you're nuts. How am I going to drop a bomb on front of him? I don't have any air.
Striker here. Go ahead.
Oh, it just automatically did? Okay. Oh, they just shot at my drone.
Our drone has been shot
They
down.
shot my drone down.
It's clear they're not coming to shake hands. You're authorized to engage, Commander.
Seriously, that's nuts.
Armed
There's
vehicles are detaching from the Baltic
there's a
crossroad.
zero
They're
chance.
moving up in our
Zero
direction.
chance.
Prepare for an assault.
Anyway.
Establish defensive positions in the buildings near the crossroads on our flank, Commander. And make sure our troops are resupplied. If one of these positions is overwhelmed, fall back on the main crossroads.
Yeah, you
and
guys
hunker
are
down
screwed.
there. I scrambled jets to provide fire support, but they won't be there before 30 minutes. Your orders are simple. Hold at all costs until they arrive.
What am I supposed to hold with?
Your men will never hold that long. Give me a minute. We have a pair of AC-130 gunships in the area.
Okay.
I will demand they be rerouted in your direction.
We? Who are you actually working with now, Miller?
Team at your command.
Just use the planes and don't ask questions. They will be there in about 10 minutes.
10 minutes. A mortar carrier would be useful. Alright, so left flank, these two strikers seem to be holding their own against some enemy reservists. For now. Center objective is the one that's in trouble. They took the bulk of the
Combat vehicle
hits.
ready.
We'll go ahead and bring these up to support. There's only 4 troops left there. They're getting overrun. There's 3 dudes left in that building.
Fighting vehicle ready for combat.
1. They're down to 1. Did I send some troops over that way?
Mortar ready. Send mission. Roger. Fire mission received. Striker reporting in.
Is that a suicide drone truck thing?
Oscar Mike.
Oh, it's just a Jeep.
We're engaging. Fire coordinates received. Combat vehicle.
I would think you could take that Jeep out. Where are you taking hits from? Dude, shoot at the thing in front of you.
Anti-armor vehicle at your command.
Tow! That's an overkill use of a tow.
Striker in combat. Awaiting command.
Oh, those troops did get destroyed.
Scouts here. Weapons team standing by. Copy. We take that building. Combat vehicle under fire. Keep driving. Striker under fire. Requesting orders. Anti-tank vehicle engaged. No can do.
I still have my mortar guy, don't I? Or did he get hit? I think he got hit.
Vehicle status is red.
Weird. With what, I don't know.
Smoke screen. Artillery moving out.
This is artillery? I thought it was a self-propelled gun.
Engaging the enemy.
Do I really have to hold for 10 minutes? 7 more minutes till the AC-130 arrives?
Striker here. We're in combat.
No, I don't want him on foot. Put him here. That's part of the problem, is a bunch of them have been coming in on foot.
Heavy weapons ready. Establish a base of fire in
Be
that
advised,
building.
Commander. A second wave of vehicles has forced the border and is approaching on the highway.
Firepower.
They are accompanied by self-propelled howitzers this
Check that
time.
building.
Great.
Static defenses will be hammered by their artillery, so use the mobility of the strikers to avoid their fire.
Pedal to the metal. Anti-armored vehicle engaged. Popping smoke. Punch it. Full speed.
Get out of there. They spotted you. They called a mission in on your location.
Orders. Striker in combat. Send your orders.
Ow!
Vehicle heavily damaged. Need maintenance. Negative. Cannot comply.
Well, you're dead. Left flank's gone.
Weapons team
Our flank is starting to crumble. You can abandon ground to gain time, Commander, but make sure you keep control of the main crossroad.
Dumping cargo. Cargo truck ready. Here, beans, bullets, and band-aids. Fighting vehicle at your command, sir. Lodgy here, send traffic.
Are these guys not shooting at him at all?
Anti-tank, here. Mortar ready. Send coordinates. Solid copy. Fire mission received. Striker awaiting orders. Anti-tank vehicle standing by.
A handful of Lithuanian units have arrived, and will hold the outskirts of the town on our left. Fall back on the main crossroad and hunker down there to receive the main Russian assault.
Moving out.
Okay, wants me to fall back to the main crossroad, which is back here. These guys I'll keep in these buildings.
Volley after volley without repositioning. Sadly, our mortars lack the range to provide counter battery without exposing themselves.
They're just asking to be beaten. Williams, contact the Lithuanian artillery battery that was training with the strikers. Those PZH-2000s will come in handy.
At once, sir.
Fire received.
Okay.
Call for fire received. Good copy.
Take the BMPs out.
Received. Engaging hostiles. Striker here. We're combat
Sir,
ready.
the Lithuanian artillery responded. One of their platoons is already on its way. You can
Really?
call it as reinforcement, Commander.
Oh,
The situation
okay.
is getting dire here, Miller. When are those planes coming?
Almost there. Just hold on a few more minutes.
Moving.
What do we got? 3 more minutes to the AC-130 show up.
Moving to next waypoint.
I don't think they're going to overrun our position here by then. Frankly, I don't want to drive the artillery up here. Let's put them in this field back here and they can fire from behind. Some of our troops in this building here on the far left are still holding out.
Order at your command, sir. Roger. Call for fire received.
No, not anymore.
Vehicle tagged. Requesting maintenance. Fire coordinates received. Armor transport. Standing by.
These guys fire their javelins up. Nice. Maybe don't run all the way up there, though. Oh boy.
Armor transport reporting in. Smoke deployed.
Optic damaged.
Smoke screen deployed. Roger. Moving out.
What are we? A minute away?
Mortar ready to engage, sir. Artillery took a hit. We need maintenance.
There goes the mortar. Alright, these guys.
Mobile artillery standing by. Vehicle standing
No. Halt.
Turn up the battery on this position. Smoke deployed. Providing direct fire.
Alright, boys. Open fire with those PZ-2000s.
Combat vehicle standing by. Roger. Engaging.
Are these going to be long or they? No, good targets. Right where the enemy's moving through. A little bit of the infantry's behind, but I think the troops I have should be able to hold her there. Pull back. God, I love self-propelled artillery. Alright, we're 30 seconds away. We're still holding out, just barely.
The cavalry has arrived, Commander. The gunships are here to support you. Move them over enemy positions and enjoy the show.
New bearing set.
Are they going to get all shot down?
No party without Hardy. Gunship ready.
I don't know that I'd be flying AC-130s in against, like, what looks like a brigade of Russian troops.
AC gunship standing by. Recalibrate azimuth sweep angle. Adjust elevation scan.
There's got to be some SAMs out here somewhere.
Copy. Relocating.
They're certainly helping.
Artillery vehicle damage! Requesting maintenance! Direct fire, on my mark!
The Russian troops seem to be falling back. Looks like they've had enough for today.
Until they drop a tactical nuke on us.
The Striker Brigade is in poor shape and needs to be withdrawn. But they bought us precious time to organize our next move. Congratulations, Commander.
No time for congratulations. Reports indicate Russian penetrations on all the main axes leading to the 3 capital cities of the Baltic states.
So we didn't hold the secondary crossroads.
Your long-awaited war.
It also didn't destroy the artillery. So we would have gotten a lot more XP if we had held every crossroad. We
Please
didn't,
pay a bit
obviously.
more attention to these planes, Commander. They aren't exactly cheap, you know.
Okay. Guessing one of them got shot down there at the end. Anyway. Still a victory.
Vehicles died!
Yeah. Obviously it was not a simple convoy, I would say. So, I'm not sure what this is. There's a cutscene, and then there's 3 more missions that spawn off this. I will say, like, this campaign map has a little bit of, like, for a non-real-time game at all, a little bit of Unity Command 2, just in terms of the aesthetics. So, I guess maybe there's going to be an amphibious landing? I don't know. Let's see what the cutscene says.
Yes. Mudak.
Okay, so clearly it would appear you can play from both sides, I'm guessing? Yeah, because there's 2 scenarios here where you're playing as the Russians. So invading Estonia up here from the Russian point of view with Operation Narva, and then Operation Blackout down here on the Latvian-Lithuanian border. Meanwhile, the American missions are down here going after Kaliningrad. So that's kind of interesting. It's like a sort of dual-run campaign. With that being said, guys, we haven't been going for too long tonight, but it is a work night. I got to do some stuff tomorrow. I got some presentations. So we are going to wrap this stream up here short. We may come back and play this more tomorrow. We may play some Railroad Tycoon 2. We'll see what my fancy is. But I hope you guys enjoyed this first look at Broken Arrow. New game out, published by Slytherin. It is out sort of in an early sort of special edition. If you buy the Vanguard edition or whatever, you get access now. If you don't, I believe the rest of the world can buy the standard or whatever, the non-upcharged version on June 19th and play it then. But hope you guys enjoyed. Until next time, this is the Historical Gamer saying once again, thank you very much for watching. And until next time, I'm out. Bye-bye.